Okay, last video I alluded to being able to make shell temps in meshmixer. So I'm going to just show how that's done because I had a few questions about it, and it's a lot easier to do than to describe. So all I'm going to do is just a couple of teeth. So let's do these central incisors here. Go ahead and select all of the teeth. So whatever teeth you've waxed up and that you want to create shell temps of, or maybe you're just doing this to have a kind of a ready-made temporary that you're going to reline for a single tooth crown prep. Just select that tooth in its entirety down to the gingival margin. Could even maybe go a hair beyond that, just so that you have some borders to trim on. Don't want to capture any of the adjacent teeth if you can help it. And that should do it. Okay, so we've selected this. Now what I would like to do, just so I have more uniform boundaries, is go to Modify, Smooth Boundary. You'll see that rather than having all those little random triangles, it will make now a smooth boundary. Now I'm going to go to Modify, Invert, where it selects everything else, and I'm going to push Delete. So here's what I'm left with is a couple of shells. So we still got our select tool, double click on these, it's going to select them completely. Go up to Edit, Offset, and you're going to want to set your offset at, if you want 1/2 millimeter thick shell temps, you want to set this at negative 0.5. And then you also, if you don't have these boxes here checked to connect it, then what will happen is you'll have just two separate shells. It won't connect them right here. It'll just be an inner shell and an outer shell. So check all three of those on, and when you do, this is the result. Okay, so you got a few spikes to clean up. That's not a huge deal. You could clear those off if you wanted to. You could come now with your smooth tools. You could robust smooth these. And let's bring that size way down. Okay, so you see I'm just getting rid of these spikes. And you would proceed around the arch. Another option, you could come up to your select tool and let's make a very small spot size. Double click that, it selects all of this, and now let's expand the ring a little bit. This is why I was saying you could go a little beyond the gingival margin, because it would enable you to do this and not really mess anything up as far as real tooth surface. So you see how I've done all that. Now let's go to smooth the boundary, accept it, and now deform smooth. And so that will take care of a lot of them just right off the bat. And so here you go. And what I found is all you'll really need to do with these shell temps is potentially come in here and thin out this contact area a little bit, because it thinks these teeth are joined together when they're really not. Does it work? Well, here's your picture. And this is on a prepped model, which I showed how to do in my last video, but these are 1/2 millimeter shell temps, and they just drop right onto this model. And this is that putty transferred into the mouth. But as you can see here, these have a nice path of draw, and they will go on in their entirety. All right, hope that was helpful.